Alright, so in today's video, I want to talk about my first build guide, which is the DPS umbrella and the twin blades, or the sword, if that's your preference of offhand. Now, there's quite a few important concepts when it comes to this game, but I first off want to start off with just basics, as this is week 1. We're also talking about early game specifically, not necessarily in-game, but a lot of these concepts will still be prevalent going into in-game when we get to it through the breakthroughs that unlock over the week. So to start off with the weapons themselves, both the DPS umbrella and the twin blades, I want to talk about first how you can get them if you don't already have them. So to start off with, I recommend going to the abilities tab. So to go here, you hit escape, go to develop, then go to the gear tab. Once you're in the gear tab, you'll be able to go to the abilities and then select the martial arts. When you're in the martial arts, you'll be able to basically click on the weapon, and if you don't have it, like I already have both of these, if you don't have it, you can click on the weapon you need. So we need the Infernal Twin Blades and the Vernal Umbrella. These are both unlocked pretty quickly in the game, and again, if you don't have them, find it on the list, go to the bottom right where it says obtain, hit obtain, and it's going to tell you exactly how you can get it. So some of the weapons and weapon styles are unlocked through either skill theft quests or even just quests in general. So they're pretty easy to get for the most part. Some of them we can't get yet, but the two weapons for this build that I use, the Twin Blades and the DPS Umbrella, can both be used from pretty much the go. I have both of these weapons, I would say, within the first hour of playing. So that's quite nice. And again, you go to your abilities tab, go to martial arts, and then hit the weapon that you need. If you don't have it, you hit the obtain button. It will tell you exactly how you can get it. Now, getting the actual item itself. So on the gear tab, you'll actually need, of course, one of the weapons each. Don't worry about set bonuses that I have right now. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Just focus on getting any sort of weapon that you can actually use in the short term. And to do that, there's really two ways you can go about it. At the start of the game, there is a side quest that is located, I believe, from memory, it's right here. It's around here somewhere. I think it's very close to the start of the game. There's an old man that you actually help out. I think it's this guy here, actually. So we'll actually go there right now, but there's an old man that you'll help out get out of a rock. You'll shoot a beehive for him, and then he will allow you to instantly pick from a few weapons at the start of the game, which is quite nice. So we'll just run over there now. I think it was over here. And you'll actually be able to, again, pick a weapon off the rip. I chose the DPS Umbrella because that is my main hand weapon, and it will allow you to use that instantly, which is, I think, quite nice. So yeah, you go up to the sky and you go to the purchase tab. Wait, no. Not wrong thing. I want to talk to him, not steal his stuff. Be careful when you're clicking on things, because you might accidentally press the wrong thing. So yeah, basically you'll start off doing a side quest for this guy, and he will give you a choice of weapons. You'll get the DPS Umbrella in doing so, and yeah, that will allow you to get, in my opinion, a very unique and different weapon, which is the DPS Umbrella. And then the Twin Blades, shortly after that, they come from, I think, a dungeon-ish quest somewhere along here. I can't exactly remember where. Might have been up here even. And that's how you get the Twin Blades. And then if you want to actually get some of the gear really quick, you can go to... Now, this is going to be a bit of a puzzle to remember how to get there because the amount of menus is crazy. I think I went Season Shop? Is this it? I think it's the Season Shop. Yes, Season Shop. So just by questing, doing activities, you'll get the Jade Fish. This is basically the seasonal currency, and you'll use this to buy seasonal gearboxes and items and whatever you want. But this is a really good way just to get some starter gearboxes. I've got some of my set bonus stuff. Of course, this is going to be more worth it to save for in-game, but just getting some starter gear to, you know, get a set of twin blades or something like that, get some set bonus gear. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. So I do recommend, you know, buying a few of these. Don't waste all of your currency. It's used quite a lot, and you do have a weekly limit of these, which is 20,000. But I mean, 20,000 is quite generous, and you know, 15 boxes is only 1,500, and I believe there is there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 gear slots. So yeah, you've got a fairly high chance of pretty much getting a full set of like jewelry and things, which is quite nice. And again, that's sort of just a quick-ish way once you've figured out the menus to get some gear. And I guess the next most important thing is we can start talking about abilities. So both for the umbrella and the sword, I'm currently at breakthrough 3, I think. Breakthrough 3 is when you sort of have all of your abilities ready to go and unlocked. And there's some pretty cool things you can do. So the first thing I want to mention is that this game has a lot of animation cancels. What's that bear up to? This game has a lot of animation cancels. You can pretty much instantly transition from your main hand to your offhand. So that key for me is not, I think it was, no, it's not tab, is it caps lock? No, what? I said it's something. E. So E for me will instantly switch my weapons, and as you can see, there's only like, I think a 2-second or 1-second cooldown. This allows you to instantly chain abilities really well. Like the combat in this game feels fucking, oh shoot, almost just committed a crime. The combat in this game feels really good, and I think that's the most important thing I want to mention is setting up good keybinds is the most important thing. So making sure you have good keybinds. Why am I getting spotted by a deer right now? I don't know what that was. But making sure you have good keybinds. So go to keyboard and mouse settings. There's a few things I recommend in here. Number 1, set your weapon swap key to something that is more, usable. So, for example, I have the the dual weapon skill on E. That is effectively a weapon swap and an ability in one key. So I made sure that was on a key that is really accessible. Now that is usually, I think, default interact is E. I have interact on my side mouse button right here. I'm a bit weird like that. You can figure out keybinds that are good for you. I just recommend finding good keybinds that are easily accessible. So as you can see, I've kind of almost gone for a bit of a new world approach where I have, R and Q and things like that. So whenever I press E, it's going to, see I'm on my dual blades or twin blades right now. When I press E, it's going to do an ability and it's going to transition me to my umbrella weapon. This is really smooth, and you can do it reverse as well. And it just feels really, really, really fluid. Also going to mention there are some insane like animation cancels you can do. So you can pretty much cancel out of any ability. So as you can see, I pressed tab, but I instantly parried and blocked out of it. That's same with parrying as well. So it's pretty instant. It's very instant. So you can pretty much cue any ability and block out of most things. There are some limitations. Actually, no. You can pretty much block out of everything. So parrying is really responsive. You can insta animation cancel weapon swaps. So if I swap to my umbrella right now, I can instantly left click with it. And that same goes for the sword. You can pretty much skip the entire animation on pulling it out. So as you can see, I go to my twin blades. Oh, we actually left click too soon. But the animation, I guess, I don't know what you call it, ability queuing, if that's what it would be called, is very, very smooth. Again, that weapon swap key is absolutely insane and just leads to some super smooth combos. And I guess we can lead on to some of the abilities themselves and what they do, actually do. So to start off with, I'm going to hold down left control, which actually brings us into cursor mode, so we can hover over things. This R ability, Spring Sorrow, is going to be the initiator for a lot of my combos. This allows us to basically immobilize non-boss enemies, so this includes PvP and PvE mobs for 3 seconds, which allows us to do a lot of combo damage on enemies' Qs, or I think it's called Q, whatever. Q is basically that blue bar that we see at the bottom of the screen. This here is Q. It's basically like your parry bar, your shield, things like that. Is the easiest way I can explain it. So we'll just go over to a mob here, and I'll pull out my umbrella, and I'll shoot this guy. And as you can see, it's immobilized him. Well, I'd actually one-shot him. But it would immobilize the enemy in basically a 3-second mobile state. It allows us to go to our twin blades and do some comboing and things like that. I'll probably might have some gameplay of that up on screen, so it makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, there's a lot you can do in terms of combo setups. You can, for example, I have the ability to leave my umbrella in the air and do auto attacks while I use my twin blades. And then I can switch back and go back to my umbrella and then do a finisher with my... So there's a lot you can do. It's a very complex combat system. that takes a lot to sort of figure out the intricacies of, and I think that's part of the fun. I still haven't figured out everything myself, but I still have figured out some fun things, and I think that's, you know, sort of the stuff I love about action combat games. I think this game really nailed it, as well as that you can just do some of that crazy stuff. So yeah, that's, I guess, some of the combo and animation cancel stuff that I briefly wanted to cover. I guess what else is there? There is the set bonuses, which I guess we can quickly cover. The nice thing about set bonuses in this game is it's going to give you recommended ones. Now, whether that's going to be the best for in-game, I'll have to test that. But whenever you get a gearbox, so I'll actually go and buy a gearbox from the seasonal shop right now. We can go to our inventory. We can go to our money bank. Then we can click on the jadefish. Then we can go to the season shop. There we go. And I'll go to our inventory. That'll go to the item tab. You can left click on it and see how it has the RCMD. That means recommended. So this is recommending us to either go with the Swallow Cool piece or the Mist Willow piece set. I think I went with, from memory, I went with the Mist Willow. Yeah, so I went with Mist Willow, which basically gives us, I think it's something called like a Beyond the Chill state, which basically reduces our damage by 40% if we haven't been in combat for a couple seconds and for the first hit, which is basically like a really nice damage reduction. Again, a lot of PvP instances are equalized, so this is more heading towards PvE. Like this, I think, specific PvP gear for memory when we get to that in in-game, and there's equalized gear. But for now, like, again, this is just a good way to get some seasonal gear. Sorry, not get some set bonus gear, rather. It is, however, random. So we'll hit Mist Hollow. I think it's Mist Hollow. Yes, it is Mist Hollow. So basically, we have two 4-piece set bonuses. I have the 4-piece Veil of the Willow, which is for weapons and jewelry. And then I have the Beyond the Chill, which is for armor, pretty much. So we'll open this up, and it's just going to give us a random piece. Look at that. We got tier 16 dual blades, which we can instantly chuck on and use, which is quite nice. Also, keeping on top of your upgrades when leveling in PvE is pretty important. So going to develop, and then I guess you can just, wait, no, we need to go to this one. And then we go here. Then we can go enhance, and then, oh wait, no, we can't enhance. Sorry, I meant to go over here. I'm clicking on the wrong thing again. No, I'm not. Oh, it's recommending me to put on this umbrella. The reason why I'm not putting this umbrella on, even though it is technically a tiny bit better physical attack-wise, is because it would remove my set bonus that I currently have on. But again, seasonal shop, that's a way you can get some nice, cheap, early set bonus gear. And if you don't have twin blades or a DPS umbrella, that's a good way to get it as well. I think the only thing we haven't covered yet is the mystic skills in a way. Now, this is too early game to even go over these, really. This is more of an in-game system that we will approach as the time comes when I do, an updated build guide and things like that. But for mystic skills, there's really two I recommend getting. These are done through like challenges and quests and such in the open world. The Veil of Stillness is basically like stealth, and it lasts 30 seconds. It's really nice. So I do recommend this one. I also like the Cloud Steps. Tai Chi can also be pretty decent. You basically pick up and throw your enemy, which is pretty funny. Celestial Seas can be okay for openers. Oh no, that's the one where you steal. Sorry, wrong one. I think it's this one. Sorry, yeah, Meridian Touch. This is the one where you can basically immobilize enemies. And if you're ever curious on how to get like certain things, you can click on it and it will say how to learn. It will give you like hints. So for example, if I wanted Lion's Roar, I can click how to learn, and it's going to give me a general clue on where to go to get it. And I think there is a assassin skill we want. Yeah, Touch of Death. I can't remember how I got this one, but again, if you click on it and click how to learn, then it'll sort of tell you the general way to get it. Basically, charge towards the target from behind and strike the vital point, and it will do a lot of damage. Sometimes in PvE, you can one-hit mobs, which is really nice. Yeah, so this move can defeat enemies with weak constitutions with a single hit. So this is really good for ads and playing stealth. You can tie this into the stealth ability and use them together, which is quite nice. So I do recommend this one a lot. I think it's really good. In terms of movement, that's kind of more just open world exploration stuff, like the 1,000-mile flights. That comes from exploration. If you do want that, I don't have that yet. So you press M, and then you can go to this down here, and you can actually do basically completionist stuff and get rewarded for it. And at level 4, you get the Afterglow Pendant, which is used for the lightness skill to basically have really good movement. You can sort of fly with this. There's a bunch of other ones you can get as well through different exploration. You can also get free gadget pulls from doing exploration and completionist stuff from the quests and journeys and things like that. There's a lot you can do, and there's a lot to this game that I still haven't figured out. I did want to get a general idea for the build I'm going for out, so you guys sort of have an understanding of what I'm doing and what I enjoy as a ranged player, because I know a lot of you guys are ranged players that watch me and have been following me for many years. This is one of, in my opinion, the most aim-based range builds in the game. As again, you use the umbrella. This has true aim. I quickly want to mention that I didn't know this, like in my first hour of playing, I wasn't using the umbrella right. When you just tap left click, it sends off like one auto attack, and I was like, oh, you can't aim that because it's character direction based, but all you need to do is hold down left mouse button, and it's going to put you in true aim mode. And when you're in true aim mode, it has true aim, which is, you know, most important thing. So I can, you know, flick over here, flick over here, flick over here, you know, whatnot. And it does a pretty decent amount of damage as well. And again, we chain that with the twin blades when we need a melee option. Very akin to something like a musket and rapier in New World, except it's completely different gameplay dynamic-wise, but in the sense that we have the melee option and we have the ranged option. That's pretty much all of the builds so far. Very early game. This is probably going to change in a few days when we get towards in-game breakthroughs. And yeah, I plan to make a lot more informational videos on this game, especially if you didn't understand a lot of the concepts in this video. I hope I explained it in the best way I could, even with a few live demos of relearning stuff myself because of the menus. So again, I think that was the most important thing I actually learned, is how I can consistently get back to the season shop, is going to the money bag and then clicking on this and then going to the season shop. That was a good thing to learn and remember, rather. So yeah, that is basically a few other things I recommend. You can also get a lot of good stuff from these life supply boxes, by the way. These are really worth getting. These give you a bunch of mats for crafting and upgrading gear. Again, don't waste too much of your jadefish, though. This is a very good currency. It's going to be very good for in-game when we get to it. But anyways, that is pretty much all I wanted to talk about in today's video, the Umbrella Blade build. Again, I really enjoy this build. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.